Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. It's me and Fez. We're back. Plenty of cricket to discuss. Pakistan versus New Zealand. New Zealand finished off 309 for six. They were started off beautifully well, and I felt like either they'll win or draw this game. But Pakistan fought back, and they fought back. How Naseem Shah leading the attack, and the spinners, especially Salman Agha, bowling really well and picking up 3 wickets. It was a very good display by him and by the Pakistani bowlers. A good fight back in that third session. And we'll also be discussing the India versus Sri Lanka T20, which starts tomorrow. All eyes will be on that. We're eagerly anticipating it. Normally, bilaterals, we don't take it as seriously, but right now, with the World Cup coming and just what's happening in Indian cricket, everyone is eagerly looking forward to this. And as also, because we're doing this show, I guess we're more pumped up about it. Faz, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Like you said, I think also more because it's like a T20 kind of a situation. So I think a lot of people will also get excited for that to see this. Like I was discussing yesterday as well, without the likes of Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, बच्चे पहली बार जा रहे हैं एक मैच खेलने बड़ों के बिना तो it's going to be interesting to see कि भाई कैसा चलने वाला है. But yeah, just very excited and also the 50 over World Cup with all the bilateral that are coming in. Can't wait to sort of watch that. Pakistan, yeah, man. Like even that match, I was watching it. जबरदस्त खेले New Zealand शुरुआत तो बहुत आला थी. Tom Latham की batting, Devin Conway's batting, man, it was just phenomenal. I mean, it was a delight to watch. During the first session, I think there was no place or no one. If anyone watched the whole session, no one would get bored. I know it looked like that, but जिस तरह के quality shots थे Conway and Latham के, भाई, it was just a delight to watch.
Yeah, and the strike rate was not that slow as the first test, so I think that contributed to that. They both batted a bit more quickly. There were more boundaries on offer today, and the fact that also in the third session Pakistan came back, it made it an interesting day. It wasn't कि भाई 500 मार के खत्म 6 विकेट लिया, right? तो अभी even हो गया game. So for Pakistan, it will be like trying to get it under 350 or just around 350, 380. For New Zealand is trying to push that 400 marker, because if Pakistan do bat big, they still can win this game. Now it depends on how they bat and everything. From the pitch side of things, we'll discuss it more in the eye test first. Let's go into the eye test and discuss the individual performances, discuss the pitch, and take it from there, basically. Before I start with this, जो भी हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, please send in your comments, questions. We'd love to take them, and make sure you like and subscribe and share it with your friends and family. We would really appreciate that. Fez, now you talked about the opening partnership. That was the key for New Zealand. So if this pitch does deteriorate, we'll always come back to this first session where they score runs. They didn't lose any wickets. They made sure they built on their starts, and just Latham will be kicking himself for not making 100. But Conway, man, he's becoming all format kind of player for New Zealand, and the fact that he's doing it in subcontinent conditions, that was the question I had about him. Because when I saw the start of his career, he was killing it in New Zealand, but he was struggling in the subcontinent. Now the fact that he's scoring runs here, he has an IPL contract, he plays with Chennai as well. I think a lot of people will look at him as a player who can play in all conditions and in all formats.
Yeah, I think he just needed a time in the subcontinent. Like I initially in the IPL also, he was not like very much looking threatening and like he wasn't performing. But I think he just needed a certain amount of time, and he got that with this test match. He sort of figured out the conditions. He studied, I think, the way England also played the batsmen like Duckett and Crawley. I think he really looked into that and how they were performing and stuff. Even in the T20 like World Cup, he gave a few good starts to New Zealand. He was looking in fine touch, and like I said in the last pod, also I feel like this guy can be a 360 odd kind of a player, which he's proving out to be. He can play a lot of shots. He has a lot of shots in him. He can also do the sweeps, the reverse sweeps, everything. He has it in him. But like Latham ka, unfortunate tha, he looked like he was on his way on his bike. But man, like I always back this bowler Naseem Shah. This is exactly what I was talking about. Someone that we're gonna obviously get into the eye test in. But yeah, overall, Devin Conway, man, phenomenal century, well deserved. Not one place that he looked loose. He didn't look like he was gonna. Obviously, the way he got out, he got sucked in again by Aga Salman. A very bad way to get out, but it's all right. I mean, he did his job basically.
Yeah, and then do you think after that Williamson slowed down things and put pressure on New Zealand itself? Because if he went at the same rate that these guys were going on, I felt they could have got to maybe 350, 360. Now they've lost wickets and they're only at the 300 mark right now. I say only because conditions in Pakistan are good to bat on. So do you feel that Williamson's innings put New Zealand a bit under pressure, and how much do you credit the Pakistani bowlers for that? Getting that reverse swing and getting some turn as well in that last session?
For me, the way I look at it, मेरे को ऐसा नहीं लगता कि केन आके slow कर दिया चीला. मेरे लिए Kane was trying to be smart at that time because they lost both their openers and there were two new batsmen at the pitch, so he was trying to understand कि भाई हो रहा क्या है बीच में. Because after a 130 odd stand, then एकदम से आप wicket lose करे and stuff like that. So it was a little bit confusing for him also. Yeah, between Kane and Devin Conway also there was like a 100-run partnership. It did slow down things. But I still feel he was smart enough to like understand that the ball was reversing and the way Naseem Shah was coming with an angle, he was trying to get it just away from the left-hander and also like into the right-hander, right? So I think वो चीज थोड़ा उन्हें पढ़ने की कोशिश करा था. But yeah, overall I think they decided कि भाई 300 तो मिल नहीं जाएंगे. But then in the middle, like you see, the ball was turning. The way Darren Mitchell also got out, bowled to Aga Salman. So a lot of things were happening for the bowlers as well. So it will not just batsman game towards the middle of the second session. You could see कि भाई थोड़ा बहुत different था.
Abhishek Bhai is asking Indian openers for tomorrow who should open for India for tomorrow. Abhishek Bhai, just give us 10 minutes. We'll get into the India thing. So whoever has joined us right now, give us 10-15 minutes and we'll go straight into that India Sri Lanka preview.
वो तो सब excited है यार. वो तो सब excited है.
We have a predicted 11 that we have as well. Faz has made a graphic, so we'll look at predicted 11. You can give us your predicted 11 as well. We'll get into the India the match very soon. We'll just finish off this Pakistan versus New Zealand, and then we'll head to India versus Sri Lanka preview in 10-15 minutes. We'll be there. But yeah, Faz, you're talking about the bowling. Naseem Shah, you mentioned, very impressive again. Extra pace. Slight worry when towards the end of day's play when he went to stop a boundary and kind of hit his leg or knee somewhere, but he seems okay. But overall, him, Aga Salman also, after his 100 in the last game, he didn't get to bowl too much. He was sitting in the dressing room. He was injured. So, his bowling was also very impressive. Do you feel that they made them the way they bowled is just like they utilize the older ball to perfection, or do you feel New Zealand made mistakes? How did you sum up that comeback from Pakistan?
For me, that comeback, I think it was inspirational from Naseem Shah because the way Naseem he was trying to understand the dynamic कि इसमें से कुछ निकालना है मेरे को. What we didn't see in the first test, अगर आप देखो, it was too boring and monotonous, वही repetitive bowling. But Naseem Shah he was trying something or the other differently. He tried angling it in and getting away that little because he was also hiding the ball. If you saw, he was hiding the ball constantly, shining part नहीं दिखाना. And वो दबा के उन्हें रिवर्स करने जा रहा था and they had no response for it. Yeah, you could say that the New Zealand players sort of played against the line of the ball in certain situations. Like in Darren Mitchell's ball, if you see when Aga Salman turned it, he lost the line of the ball. उन्हें कहाँ के खेलने गया. But apart from that, I think it was just Naseem Shah that really rose a sort of a belief in the Pakistani team के भाई नहीं इस pitch में है reverse है and you see he got wicket and then Aga Salman followed after immediately. But you see that Abrar Ahmed was again leaking runs. He was not able to get his line and length perfectly. But yeah, I would have to say it was Naseem's inspiration, and yeah, he really beautifully utilized that old ball and the reverse swing because they were worried once the seam broke into two halves, they had to change the ball. You see.
Yep, Ibrahim Bhai Singh, you were right about the grass on the pitch being deceiving. Yeah, it's going to be dry grass. You're not going to get that type of grass in Karachi, so that's what I assumed, and that's exactly what happened. Pakistan को 350 पहले New Zealand out करना होगा. Pitch आसान नहीं है. Faiz, what do you think about the pitch? What do you think is a good score on this? Is 350 good enough for New Zealand to win this test match, or do they need to get to 400? I mean, we can only judge a pitch when both teams have batted on. That's why I'm still a bit skeptical to say if New Zealand have enough runs yet or not, because easily Babar can come and score a double century, and then you're looking at New Zealand batting last on the pitch if Pakistan get a big lead. So how do you see this pitch? Do you think it's as easy as the first wicket we saw in the first test match, or do you think it's a bit tougher now?
I think it's a bit tougher. थोड़ा बहुत unpredictable movement है when you compare it to the first thing. First में आप देखो खाली आके पटक रहे थे. या तो आप बोल सकते कि bowlers की inexperience थी first उसमें. अब नसीम शाह भी उतना experience नहीं, but he is trying to do something different, right? And if you see what's the guy's name, Zia is bowling with much more. Mir Hamza is bowling with much more intent in this test. He's getting a little bit from his
compatriots. Bowling the first session was a beauty.
Yeah. So he was also getting more excited. I think it was that the last match they were just bowling monotonously. There was nothing in it. Hassan Ali also came and sort of got a few good overs in as well. But he doesn't look in the brightest of forms, but he's still getting there. So मेरे को लगता है कि the pitch is definitely not as easy as the first test, though being the same stadium and stuff. But there is a bit of movement because you see the opening partnership. Then after that, they consecutively banked on that reverse swing and that turn. तो आई थिंक वो चीज यू कैन सी कि अगर न्यूजीलैंड get about 400 420 it will be a very good score because more runs in your account will always mean a better kind of a trail for Pakistan to chase and अगर पाकिस्तान day 2 पे आते हैं और they start of getting pressurized कि हमारे runs नहीं निकल रहे then they could collapse तो वैसा देख रहा हूँ मैं तो it is interesting.
Chirag was saying
Happy New Year, Chirag bhai. What man? After like 2 days.
Yeah, I
मजाक
mean,
करो
it's been a
लेकिन
while
Happy
since
New
we've
Year.
seen him on the stream. Happy New Year's out
Yeah.
to your whole family and to everybody watching. Happy New Year's. Fez, Abrar Ahmed again. We saw
Yeah.
it wasn't that game, his game basically. Today was not his day. He was very expensive. He picked up a wicket which you want. But this is what you're going to get from a leg spinner, right? Especially inexperienced. And of course, you call him mystery. If you start to pick him, it'll become easier for a batsman. Like it wasn't the best of days for him. He got hit around. But you expect that from leg spinners at times, right? Like, especially when the batsmen are set, you have a very good opening stand. You expect them to go after the leg spinner.
Yeah, 100% he was not able to pitch it in the right spots मेरे लिए. अबरार अहमद थोड़ा आज inconsistent था, लाइन लेंथ नहीं जा रही थी, ऑब्वियसली वो स्किड भी नहीं मिल रहा था जो उसकी मेन डिलीवरी वो स्किड, दो ही डिडंट गेट अ विकेट, एक विकेट मिल गई थी उसको टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द थिंग, एलबीडब्ल्यू करा उन्होंने ब्रेसवेल को, बट आई वुड जस्ट से दैट he was not able to find the rhythm. But the good thing that I observed was that Pakistani, like everyone was like backing him up. Yeah, don't lose your head, AB chal AB chal, because he gave about 100 runs already, and he was the most expensive of the lot. But I think it's just experience that will in these kind of situations he will learn how to face these kind of situations, these kind of conditions. So it's good. I mean, you might see him come back stronger tomorrow maybe.
And there were people criticizing even when he was picking up 11, 12 wickets in a test match about his economy rate. So the economy rate is an issue. Like, that's the thing. I want wickets from him. It doesn't matter about things.
Exactly,
Today he didn't
yeah.
get enough wickets, so that's why. But it's day 1 hour test match. It's in Pakistan. It like you saw the first session, it was good to bat on. So I'm not going to look into it too much, but I think his key test will be in that second innings once the pitch starts breaking up and there's more assistance to spin. Agar wahan pe wickets nahi liya, then you can criticize here and there. But he's still very young. I think he's has super start to his test career. So give him some time. Ibrahim Bhai saying, how was Hassan Ali today? I wasn't convinced. I would have preferred they kept Noman Ali in their team. Faiz, your thoughts on Hassan Ali?
Yeah, Hassan Ali is not that great. I mean, given the fact he's playing after 6 months, he's playing a test match. उतना ज्यादा मैं नहीं उसको उतना वो सोचा कि उतना भी किराक डालेंगा या उतना जबरदस्त डालेंगा. So I mean, fair enough that he came up today and sort of bowled a few overs, but yeah, completely from his standards, he's dropped a bit. Quite a bit, I would say, not just a bit, but quite a bit.
His last 2 games in the T20s, 1 days, Hassan Ali was the bowler to target.
And yeah, exactly.
He was the bowler ki like, bhai, iske overs pade hain, isko maro. Because that Hassan Ali 2017, it's not that same Hassan Ali right now.
मेरे को वही देखा मुस्तफा, पेस थोड़ा ड्रॉप हुआ, उसका थोड़ा पेस ड्रॉप हुआ, उसकी रिदम नहीं, वो जो थ्रेटनिंग फिरोशियस हसन अली बोल के आ जाता था, देखो आ जाओ वैसा कुछ भी नहीं दिखा मेरे को. हसन अली का कुछ टेम्परामेंट नहीं दिखा. आज मैं उससे बोल रहा हूँ ना, नसीम ड्रू इंस्पिरेशन मैन. नसीम जिस तरीके से चेंज कर रहा था, वेरिएट कर रहा था, कभी जिप बोल के राइट पे रिवर्स कर रहा था, कभी स्ट्रेट रख रहा था, and he kept confusing and eventually he just managed to get layth him out, and that was the breakthrough. And then that's where Aga Salman also understood, अरे भाई ये चीज पलट रही है, इसको बस वो राइट जगह पे डालो, आपको टर्न मिलेगी.
Yeah, Chirag Bhai, we were Naseem Shah spell to Kane Williamson was so good, reverse swing, it was outstanding, and that's where palatra the game. Like he put pressure on Kane Williamson, didn't allow him any free scoring runs. It was great, and that's what extra pace does. Even on these pitches, if you have extra pace, you can always trouble the batsman.
4 maiden overs in a row he bowled before he got Tom Latham. That was like something intense. And the injury thing that you were saying, like he hit his knee or something, that's why we say he took the cap in the last over of the last session. I think last session, like third session ke end mein, over डालने वाला था, but then he took back his cap. He said, "No, kore bhai, risk nakko."
Yeah, so that's the thing. We'll have to follow up on his injury. Hopefully he recovers well, because if he can't bowl in the test match, it'll be a huge problem in the second innings. So I think Babar has to use him smartly, use him in bursts, and hopefully whatever medical help he can get today, that will be great. And hopefully he'll be back. It didn't look too serious because he continued to field after. लेकिन अब देखेंगे क्या होता है, update क्या है नसीम शाह के लिए. One more thing I just want to touch upon before we go to the India Sri Lanka is that the review man Nichols ka, I think it was Saud Shakil who made Babar go, right? Sarfaraz again, I don't think he heard it, or like he did not convince Babar, and Babar was not convinced himself. It was Saud Shakil piche pad gaya tha, and what a review, man. Finally Pakistan getting a proper review, right? And you could see the celebration. Babar like celebrate. I haven't seen him celebrate like that in a while. It was just the perfect review. In my opinion, it was Saud Shakil, I think, who put that pressure on, but I didn't feel it was out as well. So I understand where these guys were coming from, but you expect more from the keeper. The keeper should hear these things.
या 100%, बट लाइक वही है सरफराज के या तो उम्र हो गई या कान खराब हो गया, मशीन दिलानी पड़ेगी सरफराज को. But yeah, apart from that was a good shout. But Henry Nicholas also have been in like good form. He's playing decent amount of cricket just before coming into the series, you know. So I think उससे भी थोड़े expectations थे. But apart from that, yeah, I mean, it was just something that luck, fortune, the brave, and it was good. You could see like a more unified Pakistani squad where everyone was pushing each other, and South Shakil, you know, taking that call, saying, "Bhai, karao," and you know, he got the result.
सरफराज विकेट कीपर में प्रॉब्लम आ रही है. हाँ, like he
At least आज catch drop नहीं करा उसने. I think that is some positive I would take from it. Like last test में we saw he dropped a stumping chance. Kane Williamson on 21 उन्हें stumping chance छोड़ दिया था. But at least he's a little bit more, you know, cautious about that fact.
3 साल नहीं खेला उन्हें. He's coming back into that Pakistan team. He's nervous a bit, not as confident. Of course, he's not been in the international circuit for a while, so it will take time. Hopefully, it doesn't take so much time that he loses his place, because Rizwan is always knocking on the door. When Mohammad Rizwan is waiting in the wings, he's always knocking on the door, and Rizwan has been keeping well. It's his batting which has kept him out of the team, right, in the recent past. So yeah, I think that wraps it up. Anything else you wanted to discuss regarding the Pakistan game?
I know, West. I was so happy to see Naseem, man. Like he made the test match for me today completely. Like given like the credit to the first opening partnership, Latham and Conway, man, they're just too good, man. They're like क्या आप बोल सकते हो, best peanut butter and jelly या कुछ भी बोल दो आप, jam and cheese जो भी बोलना चाह रहे हो, मतलब इतने जबरदस्त सिंक में रहते दोनों, and दोनों left handers होने की वजह से पाकिस्तान have had a problem. There was a stat that Basir Khan was discussing in the commentary कि भाई against left handers Pakistani bowlers struggle, and left handers average 82 in Pakistan. So that's how good left-handing batsmen are in Pakistan. And Pakistan को इतना बड़ा problem हो रहा. Bowlers in particular having a problem against the left-armer. So, and then there was a counter question also, okay, you have 6 left-handers in your own squad, right? You have Imam ul Haq, Shan Masood, and all these guys. फिर क्या problem है? तो वो question is a very big thing that they have to answer and against left-armers. But it was so good to see कि नसीम शाह घुसा के reverse में कहीं ना कहीं से निकाल रहा था, old ball करके घस के shine लगा के फिर जबरदस्त डाला भाई मेरे लिए तो.
Abhi Blundell batting 30 not out, Saudi 11. I'm predicting New Zealand to get to 380. Then I think it could be anyone's ball game. That's my prediction. Yours?
I think, yeah, if Saudi sticks and scored another half century and stuff, and Blundell doesn't make a blunder, then they could easily get. For me, it'll be probably a 400, just like on the 403 mark kind of a thing.
400, yeah. 400, I think, would be a very good score on this pitch. 350, yeah. Pakistan is in the game. Now, it all depends on... We can only judge the pitch properly after the Pakistan bat. It could be easily that the pitch starts to crumble and Pakistan also can't struggle to get to 300. It could be that as well. But I think we can only make that assessment after also, does New Zealand have a Naseem Shah type bowler? Do they have that extra pace? Will they be able to trouble the Pakistani batsmen? Or will the spinners do an efficient job and they won't rely on pace? It will depend on that. So we'll only be able to judge it properly after the second innings. Salman Agha benefited from Hamza foot marks as he got assisted on the pitch. Is a very good point, and the commentators were also discussing that. So when you when you have the left-handed bowler, when he lands, when his foot lands, it creates those scruff marks, those marks on the pitch, and then your spinner from the other end can actually make use of those foot marks, and that's exactly what's happening. But the fact that these marks have come on day one shows that this pitch might not sustain.
Yeah.
It might crumble and it will be difficult to bat last. So I think day 2, maximum day 3 will be good to bat on, and then it'll crumble. That's just what I feel right now. Only time will tell, but this point makes me think even more that agar already say foot marks hai, already say pitch thoda sa assistance दे रहा spinners को, तो मतलब ये बिगड़ते जाएंगे. पर इन लोगों के पास भी bowlers है who can create New Zealand also have bowlers who can create those foot marks as well for the spinners. So it won't be
100%. Or Subaka first session will be important for Pakistan. If they can clean up this whatever is left off tail, then it will be important. And second अगर उससे खेलना शुरू करे तो then definitely अच्छा खासा score बना सकते by the end of the day. But अगर New Zealand के batsman sustain कर लिए तो फिर मजा आएगा. Yeah, Matt Henry will be interesting to see what impact he has, definitely.
कोई जीते बस ड्रॉ नहीं होना चाहिए.
हाँ.
Yeah, I agree. नहीं होना चाहिए. New Zealand are playing Matt Henry. Will be interesting to see what impact he has. As he has some pace. Yeah, Matt Henry has some pace. But I don't know how express he'll be in in the next innings. Let's see. Only time will tell. Depends on Henry and Saudi if they can get any movement. Last match, apart from Saudi, New Zealand bowling was ordinary. It was,
Okay.
and Pakistan's also looked ordinary in the beginning. But then they built that pressure. The way Naseem bowled, the way all their bowlers bowled, they built that pressure on New Zealand and they made a fight back. So New Zealand shouldn't give up even if they don't get anything with the new ball. They have the spinners to put the pressure on, and then with the older ball, there is assistance for reverse swing. Now the thing is, Sadi might not be as effective. Henry might be, because you need
Yeah.
some extra pace with that reverse swing. So let's see what happens. I think that wraps up this game. Get your comments and questions in also, and let's go ahead to tomorrow and discuss India versus Sri Lanka. Let's start with our tips and chips section. So it's the Hardik Pandya era, India versus Sri Lanka, T20 in the Wankhede Stadium. Wankhede is known for high scoring. It's known to for second innings batting. It helps people who do bat second. Normally there is dew around at this time of the year. I don't know how much dew you will see. We've seen some good games at the Wankhede. Hardik Pandya at the wheel against the Asia Cup champion. So it won't be an easy test for him. He has a young group of players. He'll have to start on a positive note. They'll have to be on their toes. It won't be Sri Lanka aram se 3-0 jeetenge. No, they'll have to fight it out. India in general and bilaterals do find a way to win those series. So again, for Sri Lanka also it will be tough. It should be a very, very good series.
Yeah, I think it's equally balanced in terms of like teams. Yeah, we have a bit more superstars, you could say, in that aspect. But like even Sri Lankan team both relatively new है. काफी लोग का 2020, 2021, 2018, 2019 से ज़्यादा उन लोग का start नहीं हुआ debut. तो interesting रहने वाला है कि how it feels like an under 19 kind of a match है, थोड़ा बहुत पूरे young बच्चे गिराक रहने वाले हैं. तो मजा तो आने वाला है. बस कुछ भी बोल रहे 2020 है, माहौल रहेगा. And I'm pretty sure everybody, even in the comments, are getting excited about it.
ये क्वेश्चन थर्ड बार आया तो मैं जवाब दे दूंगा. What do you think about Ruturaj and Ishan as openers?
100%. Yeah,
I know there's some
yeah,
people who think Shubman Gill and what's his name, Ishan Kishan, but I would go
Ishan.
Ruturaj and Ishan Kishan. That's what I think should be the opening pair, and we'll discuss that a bit later in 5-10 minutes. The predicted 11, but for now, Fez, your fantasy picks for the team or for the match.
For the match tomorrow, I am going to go with. Let's
If
see.
you
I'm
want,
gonna
I
go
can
with.
go first.
Yeah,
If you
go.
want.
You can go first. Yeah, go ahead.
I go Hasaranga from Sri Lanka, and from India, I'll go Hardik Pandya, bad ball captain. Let's see what happens. Mr. Hardik. अब प्रेशर भी नहीं है, लाइक प्रेशर तो है मगर वर्ल्ड कप वाला प्रेशर नहीं है, तो हार्दिक शुड परफॉर्म.
मतलब वर्ल्ड कप पे सस्टेन रहना प्रेशर है कैप्टन बन के, तो आई थिंक वो भी है कि वही next World Cup 2020 World Cup बोल रहा हूँ. तो खैर I mean yeah, it's for him I think any captaincy situation right now would be like a World Cup only because he wants that slot right after Rohit Sharma probably. So देखते हैं क्या होता है. But from Sri Lanka I am going to go with let's see, Lahiro Kumara. जबरदस्त फास्ट बॉलिंग ऑप्शन है श्रीलंका के पास एंड ही टेंड्स टू गेट अ लॉट ऑफ विकेट्स. एलपीएल में भी अच्छा ही परफॉर्मेंस था उसका, तो आई एम गोइंग टू गो ऑन रीसेंसी एंड आई एम गोइंग टू से एंड ही डज आल्सो टेंड टू सेव अ फ्यू रन्स in his overs, so that is one thing I'm going to go with. The second one and I'm going to go with is सूर्य कुमार यादव. या बस मेरा वही सूर्या मार दिया तो जबरदस्त मजा लेंगे.
Going so safe.
Yeah, you back your best players at this point of time. Surya Kumar's in form also, so I would go with Surya Kumar.
Hasaranga khalenga kal Surya ko. I get extra points for that, okay?
यो मारेगा 360. सब्बल उड़ा गया.
त्रिपाठी को मौका मिलेगा क्या? मेरे हिसाब से पहले मैच में शायद नहीं मिलेगा. मिलना चाहिए. हम तो बैक करते हैं त्रिपाठी को, कालीन
Kishan. That's a good shot, Ibrahim bhai.
Saranga and Kishan. मैं क्या बोला? Saranga Hardik, yeah, similar. Ruturaj has got 9 T20s and has scores 135 runs combined. Shubman might get a chance. Gujarat connection with Hardik. Look, yeah, like if you look at the stats and everything, then you will go Shubman. But if you see the domestic performance that Ruturaj has put in, and even in the IPL, he's been far more consistent than Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill, the issue I've had with him in T20s as an opener is his strike rate. And after the power play, he's not as effective. If he can work on that, that would be great. Just maintaining that strike rate basically. 140, 150. He can't do that. He hasn't done that consistently in the IPL. Whereas Rituraj, I've seen him convert 50s into hundreds. I've seen him score runs consistently. So that's why I'm backing him. But as a player to watch, for me, Shubman Gill anytime over Ruturaj. I'm just talking basically on form and how it will suit India. Shubman Gill for me always, I don't know why. I just want to see him one down, two down. That's the position I like to see Shubman Gill. That would be great from my perspective. But if I just look at opening wise, you could go either. I just would prefer Ruturaj because of his consistency in the last couple of years. Yes, for India, he has not performed at that level. So rightly so. If you're not going to perform at that level, you'll have to sit out. Lekin from what I've seen from the two, if I have to choose between the two, Ruturaj just takes the cake for me. He didn't get consecutive chances. He must get consecutive chances to prove himself. Yeah, that's also a good point. So let's see if there's any news on the pitch, how it's going to be. Wankhede, like I said, I think it is high scoring in general, and it's January right now, so there's still time to
Generally, वानखेड़े पे जैसा अपन को मालूम है, it is a batting kind of a game. 180 तो आप expect कर सकते हैं ये pitch पे. IPL के भी through में अपन देखे some of the best innings. But the most important thing वही है कि भाई अगर हवा का झोंका आया, then swing will come into play. Movement हो सकता. So, and obviously being next to the sea, we have seen that in the past as well. So yeah, generally speaking, it would be a very balanced, thing. It might not be in like one favor, but generally अगर अपन देख रहे तो in batting का भी हो सकता है वैसा है. तो I mean, it all depends on कल सुबह की हवा और सुबह की चाय के साथ मालूम होंगे क्या मसला है.
All right, let's go into the captain's corner and discuss the predicted 11s and how we see the captains, take this look at this game, what strategies they should look at, and how they can defeat each other. So it's time for captain's corner. So it's all-rounder versus all-rounder. Shanaka versus Hardik Pandya. One guy's the Asia Cup in his bag. The other one is still yet to prove himself as captain. And yeah, you're surprised. I'm saying Shanaka is the one who has the trophy. And I honestly really like the way Shanaka I know that World Cup mein Shanaka, there was criticism about his individual performances also. He didn't perform to that mark. And also, as a team, Sri Lanka didn't get that far. Lekin he was so impressive in that and in the Asia Cup. And those conditions will be a bit similar, if not the same in India. So I'm excited to see how he leads the boys. He's very good in his bowling changes. He also doesn't over bowl or under bowl himself. Sometimes it feels like he does, but he doesn't do that. He knows कि मैं कब आना कब नहीं आना. Bowlers को अच्छा rotate करता, and he's gotten a good group of young talent, and they play fearless cricket. From the top order also, you see their openers, they play fearlessly. They have Raja Paksa, who can take the game away from the opposition at any time. And then, him and Hasaranga can also provide the finish towards the end of the game. So their batting looks good, bowling looks sorted. They have plenty of bowling options, and he has two amazing spinners in his ranks, and that always helps in the T20 format. Even if you're playing in non-subcontinent conditions, it always helps. So I like Shanaka the way he's led so far. From Hardik Pandya's point of view, he did really well for Gujarat. He has a trophy as well, but it's domestic. So let's see. I don't know how much you rate that compared to an international trophy. But yeah, Hardik also, he has that experience now. He's 29 years old. He's played a lot of cricket. He understands the game. For him, it's about focusing on his own fitness and then how he uses himself. I want to see like unhe kitne over dalenga, because he's the best to know, will he over bowl and get injured? Will he under bowl? That's one thing I want to look at. How does he rotate his bowlers? His team selection, is he going to be different to Rohit Sharma? Is he going to give them a long rope? Does he play two leg spinners? Does he play one leg spinner and two off spinners? I want to see something. Maybe I don't mind seeing something different. If he goes with two leg spinners, he plays one all-rounder less, and he depends on himself and maybe a Sundar. I don't mind seeing that. Instead of playing both Sundar and Aksar Patel, I don't mind seeing that either. Faiz, I'll just take a few comments, and then you can bring up the team, our predicted 11s that we've discussed. Do you see Mukesh Kumar debut? I don't really see it right now, but he could. Yeah, if he does, I think he's going to be the first player, one. There's some stat that he's going to be one of the rare players to debut before making IPL debut, if I'm not mistaken. I read that somewhere.
He was not selected in IPL.
You can let us know if I'm right. Raja Paksa danger batsman है इंडिया के लिए, खतरनाक बैट्समैन है वो. आके उन्हें एकदम से गेम पलटा देता. बशीर फोड़ देता, उन्हें देखता नहीं भाई कौन बैटिंग कर रहा है, कौन बॉलिंग कर रहा है, कुछ भी नहीं देखता, अंपायर क्या कर रहा है क्या नहीं कर रहा है, he just goes one way, man, Rajapaksa. And in Indian conditions, it'll be even better to bat on compared to UAE. There will be, especially it's January now, mid-season phase, we still haven't reached the part where, garmi hai aur turn ho raha ball. I think
Yeah.
he will love to bat in
Why?
this season.
Yeah, and why bolo na mein, that's also the pitch is going to how the pitch is going to play. It will affect that as well. अगर सभी completely गर्मी भी नहीं है तो you could say कि moisture आके बहुत चीज़ें होने वाला हो सकते हैं. So that pitch is unpredictable at this point of time. Rutraj, Ishan, Samson, Sky, Tripathi, Pandya, Huda, Uzi, Umran.
एक प्लेयर मिसिंग है शायद इसमें, 10 प्लेयर दिख रहे हैं मेरे को. You need another bowler, I think, Abhishek bhai. Yeah, Fez, you want to pull up the predicted 11s?
Yes, sir. Just doing that right now.
So India's predicted 11: Ishan Kishan, Gaikwad. Look, you can easily see Shubman Gill slotted in there. Don't be surprised. Surya at 3. Okay, Deepak Huda at 4. Pandya at 5. Sanju 6. Sundar 7. Harshal Patel 8. Chahal, Arshdeep, Umran. Now tell me, Fez, Surya Kumar, he's been batting at 4 mostly in the last year or so, and he's scored most of his runs there. You'd like to see him at number 3? You'd like to, or would you like to see somebody else there?
मैं कैसा देख रहा हूँ मालूम. I'm actually going to go very different. I mean, I know this is like a probable we think who are going to start, but if I would have to think, I see that there's already like 6 bowlers in this place. Like Washington Sundar से लेके Pandya and yeah, the 6 bowler already है जिसमें अपने पास leg spinner भी है, off spinner भी है. So I would actually अगर दीपक हुडा की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी, and just saying because he can bowl as well, but I would probably put Shubman and on 3rd and Surya on 4th. So I would get Shubman, but I would play him in your, most wanted spot of number 3.
You would play Shubman at 3. What about Samson at 3 and bring Huda to 6? That's an option as well.
That is an option as well. But I'm just saying Huda bowling option कितना डालेगा, because already 6 bowler तो हैं अपने पास. So I don't know if he'll be fitting that, and extra batting will help.
Okay. The thing is, the thing is, because it's in India, Huda can also bowl in the power play if needed, 1 or 2 overs. Also, if you look at it, if Samson can bat at 3, then it's between him and Shubman Gill. Huda, I feel he can play the finisher role. He's more flexible. That's the thing. The reason why I like to see Huda in the team is because उन्हें flexibility ज़्यादा देता. ठीक है, Shubman Gill, he's a class talent. I think he's going to be the guy who takes over Virat Kohli in terms of India's best batsman. That's just my opinion. Lekin right now, I just feel that the flexibility that Huda gives, he gives a bit more in that slot. He can bat at 3, he can bat at 4, he can bat at 6, 7, and he'll give you a few overs. If he doesn't perform, then you can make that swap, no problem. And Sanju at 3, why not? I agree with Abhishek bhai. Sanju at 3, there's so much hype about him. He does have the talent, no doubt. He has the shot selection and everything. Give him that responsibility. Give him 3, give Surya at 4, and see if they can form a formidable partnership. Because now it's time to look at the future generation. Yeah. So why not?
And I think the earlier he comes, it'll be better for him also to sort of get at least 1 or 2 balls in just to understand what's happening. When bichara ball one se shuru hua tha, I know that is a general temperament, but if he can get a few more, like if he lose an early wicket, khuda na khasta, I hope not. But like, agar wo hota hai, so he could at least get a few more balls just to understand the condition, and then understand his approach, how he's going to pace his innings.
With Sanju Samson also, I think that he doesn't have the issue of after power play batting. He can hit in the so if he makes the most of the power play, because he can get going from ball 1, he can also sustain that run rate after the power play. Whereas Shubman Gill, sometimes I feel he slows down. So that's why I would probably prefer Samson at 3. Ibrahim Bhai saying Sanju at 3, Aksar in for Huda. Then you have Aksar left arm spin, Sundar right arm spin, and Yuzi leg spin. I mean, that's a shout as well. Aksar Patel has proven himself with the bat. That's an option, definitely.
Yeah, that is definitely.
But I think Huda, like, बेचारों को chance मिलना चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से. तो मैं that's why I'm backing Huda. He's been in and around that Indian team. Give him a good chance, give him a good consistent run, and then see what happens. Because when he's also got the ball, he's done pretty good with the ball as well. With the bat, yeah, maybe a bit of inconsistency, but he has runs under his belt. That's what I would like to see. With Aksar Patel, one thing I noticed in Australia, I think in India he'll do brilliantly. Even in the one-day lineup, he should be there in the 50-over World Cup in the squad. But in conditions like Australia, England, Aksar Patel is not as effective with the ball. And even Jadeja, I feel that when you go abroad and stuff, in T20s, they're not as effective. So you'd maybe better off playing a proper batsman who can bowl a bit of off spin. That's just an opinion. I could be completely wrong. I know people will hate me for this, but Sanju is overrated, and I don't think he'll be playing. Oh my God, big
I
call!
won't I
Big
wouldn't
call!
say he's overrated. It's just the lack of consistency that he has in him. Like that is the only shout out that we could give against him. Uh yeah, I think Chirag bhai, you have called yourself a mob at
Yeah,
home.
but don't fly to
Uh,
Kerala anytime soon. Don't go to
yeah,
Kochi anytime
yeah,
soon.
Chirag bhai, just change your name from, I think आपका नाम चिराग भी नहीं है, just to keep you safe.
Uh,
So coming to the point, I think he's just not been consistent enough, and see that is also one
it's
way
a
to look at.
point. I don't
It's a
disagree with the
point,
point
but
of
no,
view.
it's a, yeah. I don't disagree with it, but I would say that bhai, he's just not got enough chances, and the chances that he's got also he didn't prove himself. But again, limited chances, so that's nullifying his ability to prove himself. That is the only thing for me that I feel that he should be given a little bit more time, a little bit more rusty. And Rusty, agar unhe pakad liya, then you will see a lot of him. Because in Rajasthan, we've seen him play some phenomenal innings, right? So I think it's only about time that we just give him
Yeah.
some time to sort of. Same thing with Deepak Huda or Mustafa Singh, that we should give him some a fair chance. उसको fair chance नहीं मिला to prove himself. आप एक आध मैच खिलाते उसको लेके तो बराबर जाते, वो सीट दिलाते तो उसको आप, लेकिन आप खिलाते नहीं. So I think it's
where,
that.
where I think he's where I disagree is that in the sense that he has extreme amount of talent. He has shots for every single delivery. He can play spin, fast bowling. He's comfortable against the short ball. He's comfortable against the turning ball. He's comfortable against the full delivery, and his timing is outstanding, next to none. Like the way Sanju Samson times the ball, and the ability to clear the ropes by just timing the ball is insane. It's not like you don't see power getting generated. It's just like
Hmm.
pure touch. And it just clears the boundary. So he has that ability to turn it on and smash those sixes and fours, but he can rotate the strike as well. He has extra time as well, I feel, when he bats. The only thing is he's not knocked down the door. I know a lot of people are saying he does not get enough chances and everything. That is true. मगर अगर उसका आईपीएल भी उठा लो, आईपीएल में तो हर गेम खेलता हूँ, कैप्टन भी है, उसमें उसका एक सेंचुरी रहता है, एक 50 रहता है, उसके बाद नहीं आते वो रन. बटलर ने मारे लास्ट सीजन, अगर आप देखें, उससे पहले भी, like he had Stokes with him. Butler, he was not getting the runs consistently. He's not broken down that door. Surya Kumar Yadav took the door, he ripped it apart and threw it away. Like he was the one who was the mainstay in that Mumbai Indians batting lineup. He made sure कि भाई मैं हूँ जो run बनाएगा. Whereas Samson has not done that yet. That doesn't mean he's overrated. I don't think he's overrated. Like I think he's extremely talented. But that's why I feel उसको थोड़ा time लग रहा to जगह बनाने के लिए. Because when he has got chances, you can say a consistent run nahi mila, so we can't judge, which is also true. But in the IPL, if I look at his performances, they've not broken down the door for me.
Okay, my question now to everyone in the chat and Mustafa. I mean, you say Harshal Patel, we know he can bat and stuff, and I know फिर वही बात होंगी कि उन्हें bat से देता. But like, I would actually want to see Mukesh Kumar based on recency, because he played his last match in December and Harshal played his last match I think somewhere in end of November, right? Harshal Patel was getting smashed consistently. उतना उन्हें ज़्यादा threatening नहीं दिखा. I know he's good at home. He's very good. But would you give Mukesh Kumar a chance over Harshal Patel based on recency at least?
I would
Both
probably.
similar kind of bowlers, just that Harshal Patel bats. That's it.
That's where Harshal Patel has that advantage. But the thing with Harshal
But
Patel is
for
that.
me, okay, sorry, just before you answer that, like we already got batting till 7 based on this lineup, right? Like we have 7 batsmen. So would you really need an extra day? Like it obviously helps, but that's just my thought.
But
Like,
Harshal Patel is not just a batsman, right? He can bowl in the depth. He can bowl in the middle overs. He has a good slower ball on him. He has also abilities with the ball. Okay, he's got hit recently. The thing is, Harshal Patel also confidence का issue आ गया फिर से. उसको आप बोले आपका main bowler है, death bowler है. Without Bumrah, it's okay. We'll handle him. फिर उसको मौका ही नहीं मिला, because he got hit against South Africa. That's
very
it. They
bad.
didn't. You have to give the player the chance to come back after getting hit. Like even if he gets hit for 5 lagatar games, you have to give him another couple series and go with it, because he's the bowler you want. He's the bowler that you feel that he can give you the death overs. He can give you that those cutters and stuff in the middle overs. He can pick up wickets, and Harshal Patel does have a habit of picking up wickets. So if he's getting hit, I agree with you. He's gotten smashed, but then give him the chance to come back. If he doesn't, then you move on to Mukesh Kumar. You move on to another bowler. No issues. But it's also about for me. It's also about grooming bowlers who can bat. I always like players like that. Yes, you might not be needed, but what if game फंस गया, आपको like 12 required है और सब out हो गए? It also gives the ऊपर वाले batsmen that confidence कि भाई नीचे है और batting मार सकते हैं. Like it gives Hardik Pandya if he comes at 5 or Sundar at 7 कि भाई मैं out हो गया तो कोई है पीछे. So it will give those batsmen also that ability to accelerate. And it's not like he's just there because he can bat. He can bowl as well. Now he's gotten hit recently. Okay, that's a different thing. Like, and I feel that give him that chance to fight back. If he doesn't perform, then you can take him out. But this is the opportunity that he should get.
Yeah, I guess makes sense. I mean, just recency के हिसाब से Mukesh has got like a sixer and a lot of wickets in the domestic scene. I think it's just that it would be interesting to see some new flavor in the team. I know Harshal Patel has been there for a long time. He deserves that spot, but I just had like a curiosity just to understand if people would play Mukesh over Harshal. Let us know in the chat. Abhishek Bhai says, "Bhaiya, if you compare IPL with international matches, then what about he does well in IPL, but in international matches, we all know, yeah, man, that is 100% spot on.
But the
I
thing
agree
with
with
KL
this.
Rahul is what he
But
has over
yeah,
Sanju Samson is that KL Rahul has 100 in England. He has, in Australia, he's performed. He's played in New Zealand, he's, him and Rohit Sharma, the one that super over, he was outstanding in that series in 2020. So he scored runs under this belt in India. That's why he gets a longer rope. Right now, he shouldn't get that longer rope, and he's been dropped. Like, KL Rahul is not in the thing. He's been demoted from vice captaincy in the one day thing. So he's got his punishment for not performing. Of course, you would say that maybe it's a weak punishment. He should be dropped from all formats. He scored runs in the past. We have short memory sometimes because we're so upset with what happened in the last 2 years. But if you go back in the last 4 or 5 years, he has runs for India. Whether it's match winning, not match winning, it's a different story. There was a purple patch he was going through, especially in that 2020 year just before COVID. He was hitting it in New Zealand as well, and he was scoring some big runs. Taki lives in the house. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well, and please do like, share, subscribe. Your support is valuable. Your support is valuable, bro. Thank you for joining. I think keep Mukesh Kumar out, as I think he'll be targeted, and so will Harshal Patel. Shivam Mavi could be an option. Look, Mavi is a straight option for Harshal Patel because he can also bat. He can also swing the bat. Of course, he's not a proper, but he can hit. We've seen KKR as well. Thakke laga deta. So that is a very, very good option. Ibrahim Bhai is doing his homework, and that's a very, very good option. So he's probably a better option. Now it's a debate. So if Harshal Patel doesn't perform, you can actually do a straight swap. But again, I would still go with Harshal Patel. Give him that opportunity, let him fight back and see. If it doesn't perform, then you can.
How is Shivam Mavi in the death like compared to Harshal Patel then?
How is
Shivam Mavi in the death overs?
We haven't seen him consistently for India. For KKR, it's been on and off again, but he has the pace, so he can find the block hole. I've seen few IPL games where he was very good in the death overs, but that was when he was fit. With Shivam Mavi, it's more about injury thing. But Harshal Patel also, there's some games he's been ridiculously good in the death, and there's some games he was so poor in the death.
Yeah.
So it depends.
But then you cannot send every player to the international cricket to check with them just because there is a KL Rahul who did good in IPL. And so that rule also changed now. And now you have to first perform in a domestic circuit, and then now you have to. IPL is not your gateway entry anymore. Like the BCCI, I just mentioned a few hours ago rather, that आपको domestic में perform करना पड़ेगा. No one will be picked up from the IPL anymore. आप पहले IPL में select होके फिर आप IPL खेलो, फिर आप domestic circuit में आ जाओ, फिर आप बड़े बच्चों में आओ. तो अभी ऐसा situation हो गया.
KL Rahul scored runs because he got a fair chance. Did he score runs because he got a fair chance, or he got a fair chance because he scored runs? Because there was a period where he was scoring a lot of runs, right? So that's when he got into the team. But if you remember, KL Rahul got dropped in between. Mayank Agarwal was the opener in Test cricket, but then KL Rahul was scoring bulk of runs, and then they brought him back. I remember there was a time where they were saying, "Bhai, Rahul ko kyun nahi lekhe gaye New Zealand?" A lot of people were saying, "New Zealand kyun nahi lekhe gaye? He's scoring runs in domestic. He's scoring a lot of runs for India in other formats. Usko leke jana tha." नहीं लेके गए थे. They went with Shubman Gill and Prithvi Shaw. Mayank Agarwal, Shubman Gill and Prithvi Shaw were your three openers. So he scored a lot of runs as well, KL. Right now he's not scoring runs. Same thing, if you remember, what's his name? Surya Kumar Yadav. Runs left, right and center. उन्हें संजू सैमसन से डबल रन्स मार रहा था. उन्हें उसको चांस ही नहीं मिल रहा था. ऑस्ट्रेलिया सीरीज याद कर लो आप 2020 का. उसमें विराट कोहली नहीं लेके गया था सूर्य कुमार. There was that game as well between RCB Mumbai where Surya Kumar won the game and he just was saying like, I'm here, and it was a clear signal to Kohli that bhai aap mere ko nahi leke ja rahe Australia, and he was scoring runs left, right and center at that time. So so for Sanju Samson, he'll get his chance, he'll get his fair chance. I have no doubt about it. Manish Pandey को मिला यार वो रन, इसको भी मिलेगा पक्का.
चिराग भाई कल देख लेंगे. चिराग भाई संजू सैमसन क्या है, ओवररेटेड है, अंडररेटेड या अभी रेटेड नहीं कर सकते.
I don't think he's overrated. I just feel that he hasn't really broken down the door, but also at the same time he's been in the squad. He should get more chances. Shubman Gill will get a chance, guys, and Iyer has an edge over Huda and Samson. Biggest rivalry is Huda, and if Ishan is permanent opener in upcoming white ball cricket, then he can keep as well. KL Rahul has issues in ICC tournaments and not international. He was scoring
Yeah.
in bilateral, so that's what I'm
But
saying.
that's where we need these guys scoring heaps in bilateral, and why not in ICC? So that is also there. But this is the Sri Lanka probable 11 that we're thinking. So your thoughts on this, prop?
Look, these guys have been outstanding. The openers have been really good in the Asia Cup. They were very good. They'll give you a steady start. They can accelerate if needed. They'll make most of the power play. They run between the wickets really well. I think from all the top teams in the world, these two, the chemistry is very good. I hope I don't put Nazar on it and they get run out tomorrow, but they're very good. Avishka Fernando again.
Actually, we won't
He,
mind that.
yeah. Avishka Fernando again. He's an opener, but he's starting at one down.
One more.
So he can make most of the power play if he comes in early. Sri I really like that batsman. He's one of my favorite that I've watched live, like from Sri Lanka. I really like the way he plays. Very good rotator of the strike. Is not scared to hit his shots even when the power play is done. Raja Paksa is a firecracker.
Yeah.
Shanaka will bat and bowl. Same thing with Hasaranga. Then Karuna Ratne can bat and bowl as well. Karuna Ratne sometimes has the tendency to get hit. So I feel that if I'm Hardik Pandya or I'm the Indian team, I would look to target him.
Target him, yeah.
When he has the ball. Theekshana, be a bit careful. Again, mystery. He can bowl in the power play. He can bowl in the middle. He can bowl towards the death as well. Then you have Kumaro, which is Fez's fantasy pick. Good pace. He's done well recently. And Madhushanka was outstanding in the Asia Cup. I think one game he got hit, apart from that, he was outstanding, man. He really, really surprised me. So, watch out for him. Overall, this looks like a very good team. They have a solid middle order. They have good openers, and their bowling also looks. I think they bat till Karuna Ratne, so they bat pretty deep. It looks like a good team now, man. And I like the way Sri Lanka is building. This was not
Yeah.
the case 2 years ago.
Yeah,
3
like
years
you
ago.
mentioned earlier, also I think Shanaka is the perfect leader right now for Sri Lanka, and like the way he's come like a messiah for them. I think, given the contents of how the country was also in shambles for them, and how he sort of carried on with that team, carried on with the temperaments. I know there are a lot of problems in the locker room as well with scandals and stuff after the T20 World Cup. But I think this guy is a very good leader. He knows how to sort of mold his team, keep his team in confidence. By if you look at 2022, so they didn't win anything except the Asia Cup 2020. They lost in Australia. They lost against Australia at home. They lost against us. And then they came to that Asia Cup, right? And then winning that Asia Cup with the likes of our team, Pakistan's team, it's not something small. Obviously, it's a very big achievement, given the क्या बोल सकते हैं अपन tenuity of this squad. Everyone, like I said, 2017, 2018 से छह यार थोड़े, most of them are from 2020, 2021. So Sri Lanka overall a very young unit. Even in the T20 World Cup, we saw them sort of not playing the worst of cricket. I would say they were playing a bit better than what we expected. But yeah, overall they have a good mindset, strong mentality, and I know they're not going to take it easy.
I think for me the reason also is that for that T20 World Cup performances, they haven't traveled as much as a team. Once they start touring overseas, you see them in England, you'll see them New Zealand, Australia. They play these series more away from home. This team will become threatening because then they will develop faster bowlers as well. They'll understand conditions more. The batting will also be more comfortable against the extra pace, and that's what I'm willing to see. I think now these guys have played as a unit for the last 2 years, and in subcontinent they're a very good team. Now it's about taking it to the next step when conditions are a bit favoring the faster bowlers, or if their bowlers don't get the purchase, if the spinners don't get the purchase, how do they execute their plans? That will only happen when they go into these conditions and experience those foreign conditions. So that's one thing I would like to see from them. Who was the guy who got into trouble? Gunath Ratne. What's his name?
I forgot his name. It was a very hard name to take.
Player, so yeah, he's not there. Harshal doesn't have a good record at the Wankhede. He goes for runs on this particular ground in the IPL, so I wouldn't mind Mukesh or Mavi playing in his place. Yeah, Harshal Patel, it was Jadeja who took him apart. It was in the Wankhede only, right? When Jadeja hit him for 4, 5, 6s in that over when he went for 30 runs in the IPL. I think it was the 2021 IPL, if I'm not mistaken. Thoughts on Huda apart from that century against Ireland? Has he looked good? For me, Deepak Huda still has he has to prove himself. He's not proved himself completely, but also I feel that they've played around with this position. You know, you talk about Sanju Samson. I understand Sanju Samson is so talented, but look at Deepak Huda. उसको कभी खिलाते कभी नहीं खिलाते, कभी वन डाउन पे खिलाते, कभी उन्हें टेस्ट मैच में ओपन कर दे रहा, कभी उन्हें नंबर 6 पे खेल रहा, बॉलिंग उसको कभी मिलती कभी नहीं मिलती, तो his role has not been specified. I think that is most important. Hardik Pandya needs to sit him down and say, भाई, I want you to bat at number 6. I want you to play in that role. I will give you a couple overs a game, maybe in the power play, and in the field you're going to be my guy. So if Hardik Pandya defines his role, I think you'll see a better performance from Deepak Huda. Yes, he's not proved himself yet. If you see that, yes, also he's probably in the team because he gives you that option with the ball. Maybe that gives him the advantage. Otherwise, you would say, oh, why don't you pick Sanju Samson or Iyer or somebody else? Again, I feel that he needs to be given a defined role.
I think even, but one way, if I'm looking at it, Deepak Huda, like, chalo, international circuit we've not seen, but in IPL, he's played from what I think 2015. He's had like 6-7 years in his camp, and he still doesn't average very high for someone who's that experienced in the IPL. So I think he just needs to learn to take his chances. Maybe a lot of times he's not got in batting or something, but whenever he has, he's probably 1 or 2 innings that come to mind.
But even then for Punjab, कभी उन्हें वन डाउन खिला रहे, कभी 6 खिला रहे, उन्हें एक सीरीज में तो याद है 2020 आईपीएल में जो इंडिया में हुआ था, then it shifted to Dubai. In that one, उन्हें आके फोड़ दे रहा था. When he fought with Krunal Pandya that year, he came and smashed it. But then उसको like proper एकदम से उसको डिमोट कर दिया, फिर वो उधर भी
नहीं
फ्लक्चुएट
तो
करते.
एक चीज ये होना है ना, फिर या तो आप फॉर्म होके समझ जाओ, like see you're coming out as this utility player, you're coming out as this player that I can play in anything. Either you are doing that just to keep your position in the team, or either that you are just not sure where you want to play. That is
But
two
then
things,
he's
right?
not
So,
playing every game also. If you're playing utility player and you tell him to play as a floater, then play him every game as a floater. आप उसको बिठा रहे हैं एक सीरीज में आप उसको रख रहे हैं, उन्हें भी
no, I'm talking अगर not just international, like I said, his majority cricket that we've seen or I've seen at least is IPL.
yeah,
At least IPL.
he
Define
did
कर
well.
लो भाई
He
IPL में
batted well.
आपका.
I mean, Lucknow reached the playoffs. He did well. He didn't do anything wrong in
But
my
it's not been
opinion.
consistent from him. That's my thing. Like in 7 years,
But
I
like
think
it
he had
depends
like
on what
6.
you. It depends what you expect from him. You expect him to score the same runs as a Gaikwad? Maybe not. He won't. But then
No,
if
so
you're
maybe
putting,
somewhere that you can score at least a match 20 plus, 25 plus a game at
I
least.
feel he
उसका
does that. I feel he does
I
that.
मेरे लिए तो
He
है.
scored.
Fielding wise is spectacular. I will never commit on his fielding. He's an amazing fielding. Bowling option, yes, but again, how effective is he in when you compare him to? He could be like a Yuvraj Singh for me, but like he's just not working that hard, I feel.
I mean, I don't know if maybe he's not as talented, but I'm sure he's working hard. Maybe he's not as talented. Maybe it's that, but yeah, it's not. The reason we're having this debate is because yes, he's not really done wonders, and he's not
Yeah.
done too bad either. He's like been there and thereabouts. That's why we're having this argument. So you could probably go either way. Thoughts on Huda apart from
Yeah, that's
century?
all
We
the
all
question we took. Yeah.
top scorer and wicket taker for India tomorrow. Look at this.
Top scorer for India tomorrow would be Surya Kumar Yadav, and top wicket taker will be Yuzindra Chahal.
I'll go top scorer will be Ishan Kishan, and wicket taker I'll go. I want to go Umran Malik, but I'll go Harshal Patel if he plays. I think he'll pick up wickets.
नहीं टॉप स्कोरर इन bowling नहीं पूछ रहे.
No, it's a wicket taker.
No, bowling, like top scorer will gonna get smashed because Harshal Patel might get smashed.
अरे वैसा वो भी हो सकता है. वनडे में उसका है like मैं उन्हें जब पिटता भी विकेट ले लेता 2-3. That's what I'm banking on.
Yeah, he can clear the tail.
Umran Malik and Arshdeep, that is what I want to see. How they bowl with the new ball, how they bowl in the death. I don't think Umran Malik will get the new ball. Maybe he will. I feel that Hardik Pandya might just take the new ball. That's what I'm looking at. Like if Umran Malik, whenever he gets the ball, maybe he gets it in the 4th over, 3rd over, in the 2nd over. How does he bowl? And then in the death overs, who does Hardik go to? Does he go to himself and Harshdeep, or does he go to Arshdeep and Umran, or does he go Arshdeep and Harshal Patel? He'll probably go Arshdeep, Harshal Patel, and maybe Hardik will chip in over here or there. Umran Malik might be finished at the 16th over. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, so Arshdeep and Harshal in the last. Yeah, makes sense. I think okay, Umran can be wavered towards the end. अगर उसको डाले उन्हें थक के चिड़ में आ गया तो you like give him let him if he's bowling good, let him continue बोलता हूँ मैं. Don't stop that rhythm.
But
वरना wayward.
Jayasuriya ko mauka kab dega Sri Lanka? Yeah, Faiz, what are your thoughts on Sana Jayasuriya making a comeback at the age of 45?
सनत
No, but when
जयसूर्या
you
नहीं
see
है.
Jayasuriya was
Yeah.
so good in the series against Pakistan. I think even against Australia did he play? I'm not sure, but against Pakistan, I remember in the test matches, he was the sixth spinner in line. सबको COVID हो गया था, ये हो गया था, उसको लेके उन्हें आके he ripped through the Pakistani batting order. He was outstanding in that series. So yeah, let's see what happens if he gets a chance. Can we expect Krunal again in a blue jersey? Look, you have Akshar Patel, you have Washington Sundar, Jadeja coming back. It's going to be tough for Krunal Pandya.
But like you're meeting the home minister, so you can say I don't know. No, but I think Krunal still has a lot of work to do. I think Mumbai Indians में खेलना is not enough. You just play one IPL and then I don't think he plays domestic. He doesn't look like he doesn't play domestic, right? जितना मेरे को कृणाल पांड्या उतना कभी नाम नहीं सुना डोमेस्टिक सर्किट में.
He was the captain at one point for his state. He still plays, but recently I don't know what he's been doing.
Yeah, that's what. Like he's just been chilling.
I think Imran Malik might be expensive. Uske edge pe छक्के जाते, Wankhede is too small for him.
Yeah, it is small for him, but if he can just maintain that line, and that's what wayward नहीं होने का Imran has. That's what he was working on. Even in the last series, अगर अपन देख रहे हैं उन्हें उसके बारे में बहुत बोल रहे थे कि उन्हें wayward है, कभी भी इसका rhythm line like सही नहीं जाता. खाली उस पे अगर work कर लिया उन्हें, and then it's like that. कौन सी की मूवी का याद आ रहा था, खैर मैं बाद में सोच के बोलता हूँ कि उन्हें वेवर्ड था लेकिन उसके एक्शन चेंज करते तो उन्हें सीधा विकेट टू विकेट डालता. आई थिंक इट वाज छिछोरे और सम मूवी जिधर भी बोलर रहता. एनीवे, सो ड्रिफ्टिंग ऑफ टॉपिक, बट अमरान विल. छिछोरे में उन्हें ऐसा डालते रहता, फिर एकदम उसका हाथ सीधा करते कि उन्हें लाइन लेंथ मारता.
उन्हें वहां दिखता, लाइक
हाँ वहां देखता है यार, क्रिस क्रॉस बोलते थे यार.
First, I have to let you go now. I'll wrap this up because we have a football show starting in 10-15 minutes. It will be the deadline for the FPL. So you just have to do the preparation for that. I will join you in 5 minutes. I'll just wrap it up and I will see you there. Quickly, prediction, India versus Sri Lanka tomorrow?
India आराम से जीतने वाली है और अपन which India is going to kill it, and yeah, everybody join us tomorrow as well. कल जबरदस्त बातें होंगी इसके बाद, मैच के बाद.
Definitely.
So I'm just going to jump off. See you in a bit.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow and best of luck with the football show. I will join you very shortly.
Good night. Yes, sir.
Good night. Yes, boys. In IPL, Huda hasn't had a consistent run with RR SRH. He was batting at 7 and 8 and didn't get much game time. Also, Punjab, also his role wasn't clear. That's exactly what I also said. Umran can get bounce in Mumbai pitch. He can get bounce, but I also agree with the point that, because if it's a good wicket to bat on, also Sri Lanka a bit short in stature. They can play those cuts, those, scoops and stuff. He has to watch out a bit with that. But if there's any hint of movement, which I feel that there might be some grass in Mumbai, at this time of the year, there might be something for the fast bowlers. If there is anything, Umran can really exploit that. Sanju ko Hardik se upar batting karna chahiye. मैं agree करता हूँ. Sanju को 3 पे करना चाहिए, 4 पे Surya, 5 Hardik. India will win. Taki Livis Singh, Anshul Bhai Singh. India will win. Ibrahim Singh. How is Karuna Ratna playing? I thought Sri Lanka board banned him for a year as he breached the code of conduct during the World Cup. So I think that was the other guy. I think it was Gunath Lekke or Gunath Ratne. I think he was the guy who got banned. If you can double check with that, because I also don't remember, but I think it was him. It wasn't Karuna Ratne. And Karuna Ratne he's the bowler who can also bat a bit. He can smash. We saw in the Asia Cup in the final as well. Unhe aake mara tha after Hasaranga got out. And with the ball, he can be expensive, but wickets भी ले सकता है. He's a Harshal Patel type bowler. Pakistan, New Zealand may win. Right now, I can only make that prediction if once Pakistan bat. Lekin for now, let's say New Zealand, because they will hopefully, if they don't concede a huge lead to Pakistan, then New Zealand will bowl last on this pitch, and I think the pitch is deteriorating, so I feel that New Zealand will have the advantage. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I think tomorrow we will join you after the game as well, India versus Sri Lanka. Looking forward to it. It's been a while. I mean, it's not been too long. The last time India played test matches was in 25th, but it's been a while since we saw the limited overs. We're used to watching India play every day or every alternate day, so excited for that. And the New Zealand Pakistan is shaping up to be a much better test match. I don't think it's going to be a draw, a boring, dull draw. I feel there will be a result in this game, so watch out for that as well. Already 6 wickets down, New Zealand. They've got 300 runs. We're moving into day two, and if the weather holds up, which I think it will in Karachi, we will definitely get a result. That's what I feel. And how Pakistan bat will be key. First, they have to get New Zealand all out, I think, for 350 or just under 350, and then they have to bat big. Watch out for Imam Ulaq and Babar Azam as well. Again, always Babar Azam, key player. If he can score a big 100 and give Pakistan some sort of lead, they have a chance in this game. If New Zealand get any sort of lead after the second innings, then it's going to be tough for Pakistan because they have to bat last. If you have any other questions, let me know. I will wrap in a couple of minutes. We have the football show on Chasing Green Arrows. Dean Jones and Gianni Battice will be hosting that. It will be the deadline show before the fantasy football deadline, which is in a couple of hours. We'll let you know who to pick, who not to pick for that, and we'll discuss some of the games which are coming up. I think City are playing Chelsea this week, so that will be a fun watch. So join us for that. Otherwise, I will join you tomorrow with the latest from the cricket. Looking forward to it. My prediction is that it's going to go into super over and India will clinch it. I just like making these kind of bold predictions. You guys are saying India will win. Let's see how Sri Lanka perform. Their Asia Cup champions, but we've seen in bilaterals, India do dominate. So right now it looks 50-50 for me. I like the way Sri Lanka set up their team in T20s. Against and India also, remember, this is not the most experienced side. If they do get under pressure, if the bowlers do get hit a bit, how will they respond in the death overs? Will they keep their cool? Hardik Pandya, again, he's not captain consistently. What kind of decisions will he make if things are not going correct with the top order? Also, it's not Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul anymore. You have a young top order. If they collapse, will the middle order respond? You have Surya Kumar there, of course. That is probably going to be the game changer for India. It'll be very, very interesting to see how the players perform, especially if they put under pressure this young team. That's what I would want to see. I want to see their attitude in terms of that. I think they will play aggressive cricket and they look to dominate Sri Lanka. But if they're on the back foot, how do they respond will be key. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. We will catch you tomorrow. Faiz will also join us tomorrow, and do bring in your questions, your comments at any time. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well, and we will catch you tomorrow. Have a good day, guys. Enjoy the rest of the day and enjoy the match tomorrow, and we'll catch you after the game. Thank you.